talk about technology on motorcycles today. Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is the Misplaced Motovlogger. My name is Frank. And today I'm wondering, I have a few thoughts on modern technology on motorcycles these days. And what do you guys think of all the technical advances versus over maybe when you started riding? Like when I started riding, I'm not even sure that there was a fuel-injected bike out there for sale. And if there was, it was going to be expensive. Everything I started riding on was carbureted, which possibly would have had its advantages when my bike broke down. I may have been able to push start it, but I don't know. Yeah, things like rider modes and ABS and traction control, these kind of things. Do you think they're there to help riders? Or do you think these things actually inhibit riders? I did see an opinion by another motovlogger. I won't mention their name, but their feeling was that having to have different rider modes on a bike enables an incompetent rider. And I can partially see where they're coming from in that argument, but I can also see that different rider modes, like rain mode versus sport mode, is going to add a certain margin of safety, or margin of error, if you will. But I can also see where if a rider doesn't know how to ride in the rain, just in a standard mode, or in a bike like mine that doesn't have many modes, this bike doesn't even have ABS, I could see where possibly it would give them a little bit of overconfidence that, hey, you know what, the rider mode's going to take care of me if I lose traction. Which it might. So my take on certain modes that some bikes have, you know, sport mode, standard mode, and a rain mode. And sport mode's going to tap into the most power you can get out of that bike. Standard mode, honestly, I think they should rename it to economy mode, so it'll save you a little bit of gas riding in standard mode. Just call it economy mode. And then rain mode obviously is going to you know, reduce that throttle response. And all this stuff's linked up to the traction control and ABS and everything. I can see in one way that, yes, the rider modes absolutely are going to help. They're going to take an experienced rider, and if you make a mistake, which, hey, we're all human, we all make mistakes. Sometimes you just wrap on a little bit too much throttle. Sometimes you give a little bit too much brake pressure. I've done it. I came into a stop actually not too long ago. Just gave it just a little too much rear brake, or I hit a little gravel and rear brake locked up. No big deal. To a newer rider, that could be a bigger deal. But I don't think newer riders are out there on these big expensive bikes, which I guess they could be if you got the bank account for it. You might just think, hey, I'm gonna go out and spend my money on a Goldwing because they're really awesome, and I want to tour cross country. Not saying that there aren't some people that can get out there and get on a Goldwing for the first time and you know, be a competent rider, but more often than not, it's not going to happen. So someone starting off, you know, on a 300cc bike or something similar to that, small, lightweight, a lot of them will come with ABS as an option at least, and that's great because that's going to help, you know, those new rider mistakes. But I can't think of any of those bikes that come with any kind of rider mode technology like a Reign Sport and Standard mode. So somebody new is going to learn on one of these bikes that doesn't have the rider modes. Bugs are relentless today. And I don't know, maybe, you know, once they step up to a larger bike, or a bike equipped with, you know, more of those technologies, maybe it only enhances their riding experience. There are other things they put on bikes, which honestly, these days I don't see the need for. We'll take one of Indian and you know, say Indian and Harley, because, you know, I'm riding an American V-twin. If I get something else, it's probably going to be one of those too. But, you know, they have these huge infotainment systems like you would have in your car. And they've got GPS, which, don't get me wrong, GPS is great. But I don't have GPS in my four-wheeled vehicle, either of them, my wife's or my own. But I do have a smartphone, and that's really all the GPS I need. And same for the, you know, the stereo systems they put on these bikes. Do I really need a big stereo system on a motorcycle? I've got the Senna, and other people have Cardos, but a lot of people are running intercom, you know, Bluetooth intercoms like these. If I want to listen to music, I've got it paired to my phone, and I've got a music library on there. If I had unlimited cell data, I could, you know, stream Sirius XM. But do we need all of that stuff? Is it just an added distraction? I think some of that stuff in cars absolutely is an added distraction, which is where I see the argument for it enabling an incompetent rider, because those technologies in cars, I think, can absolutely enable incompetent drivers. There is no shortage of incompetent drivers out there. Having that technology that if you start drifting out of your lane, it starts beeping at you. Well, why are you drifting out of your lane? Probably because you're texting somebody. But anyway, back to, you know, the stereos and stuff like that. And actually, it brings up kind of another point. If maybe they strip down some of these models, could they make them cheaper? Harley did that with the Electric Glide Standard. You know, that's pretty much a full touring bike, batwing fairing, bags, but it's stripped down, and they sell it at, you know, I don't know what a Street Glide's going for, but an Electric Glide, I think, starts at about 19 grand, which, yes, that's expensive. I really wish Harley would maybe do that with some of their other models, and Indian as well. You know, give us a stripped down version of something that's a bit cheaper. That'll get you into you know, a bigger touring bike. Because I'd like to get a bigger, you know, I'd like to get a touring bike, but I have no use for any of that added technology. Definitely don't need a stereo. I suppose ABS would be a nice feature to have. Maybe traction control. Just give you that little added safety feature. Oh, look at this monstrosity. That is a hell of a trike right there. Oh man, that thing had a sofa in the back. Okay, maybe not a sofa, we'll call it a love seat. Holy crap, you could probably fit 3 people in the back of that thing. Oh man. I don't think there's a whole lot of technology on that dude's trike. Now guys, I think that's gonna be the video. Rambling on about is technology a good thing for motorcycles? Is it a not so good thing? I think like everything in life, it has its pluses and its minuses. Yeah, nice, looks like a Street Glide special. I guess that'll do it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think. What's your opinion on technology and motorcycles? Are manufacturers trying to make them just a little bit too much like cars, adding all these features? What are some of the technologies you like? What are some of the technologies you can live without, or just flat out don't like? Oh yeah, C17. And that'll do it, guys. Till next time, we will see you.